1995, Larry and Sergey, they started this whole Google thing. Who has ever heard about Google? Right now I'm using Bing. Just kidding, no one uses Bing, we know. Somebody here is going, I use Bing all the time. Well, that's a life choice we need to talk about. Well, private okay? So the point is, but you start as a carny, a DJ is one step below a carny. So you start off, if you're a really good DJ, you work your way up and you become a carny. And then from a carny, you become a speaker. And then you become a politician. That's the process. That's how it happens. We're going to make sure that today's impact is a very powerful event for you, because we don't know how long we're going to be alive, right? We might as well live while we are alive. Does that make sense? Every entrepreneur I know views every single second as an important moment. Guess what? I'm with you. So I want you to think about it. Write down how many years you'll be alive, okay? Now go ahead and write down this now. Write down all the things that you would do if money was not a variable. If you weren't limited by money. This is what Reid Hoffman says. This is the guy who started PayPal, he started LinkedIn, he started a big deal. He says this: define, act, measure, refine. You gotta write that down. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's you rate yourself? 1, your overall satisfaction with where you currently are in life. Why do you ask that question? Because you're only gonna live one time, and if you're not doing something that you're enjoying or is not gonna get you where you wanna go, why are you doing it? I'll tell you why you're doing it, because everybody's doing it. But the thing is, you have to know what you wanna do. Does that make sense? So how are you going to know? This just in. Nobody cares about your success more than you, or even close. Oh, that's not very fun. Some of you have it in you right now, you know what you want to do, but then you're like going, that seems weird. You know, some of you are like, I really want to open a ballet studio, and maybe you told your mom or your brother, they're like, how are you going to support yourself? Imagine being me and telling people you want to be a disc jockey. Great. Somebody in this room right now, you need to hear this. For whatever reason, you're stuck because you're putting a label on yourself. You're going, I can't be successful because I only know this, I don't know that, I'm not good at this. Does that make sense? Everybody here can do it. But entrepreneurship, you have to deal with what? Fear. You have to face it right in the face. You got to go right through it. If you're going through hell, please don't stop. You're going to go out there and get a mini storage unit. You're going to open up your shop in downtown, fill in the blank, and no customers are going to show up. Not a single one. Your mom comes in and goes, hey honey, how's sales? And you're like, I hate that you asked me that question. And that's what life is. And you're going to have to make it something by reacting. Does that make sense? So you can take the word bitterness and you can turn it into betterness. Just change a letter. America, Google this tonight, guys. Google it. Google the percentage of Americans that cannot retire at the age of 65. It's sad. 75% of people are working at jobs they hate for retirement, and they can't even afford to retire anyway. What's the freaking point? The point is, we need to figure out where we want to go. Does that make sense to you guys? Are you getting this? Is somebody having like a light bulb go off where you're like, because there's somebody in this room that needs to understand that your life is a gift. And this is something magical. You can have massive success. You can do whatever you want to do. But you've got to start implementing these principles, right? And all these people who've invested in you, the sponsors, everybody here, our fabulous MC, Barb, America's #1 human, they're all here because we all believe in you. But we're not here because we're here to sell you some crap. We're here to help you guys.
Yeah, I mean, Clay does a terrific job of connecting with students, and he's very open and raw with his stories, and I think students appreciate that. They get the realness of that, and they connect with it. And for me personally, I was really happy to hear Clay reinforcing this idea of action taking. It's something we talk with our students an awful lot about. And I'm so glad for our students to be able to hear that from another perspective as well. We've had a lot of terrific speakers be part of this launch program, and so we certainly will add Clay to a list of terrific speakers. Clay really connected with the audience. I loved the realness of the stories that he shared, high energy, and also had some just really terrific practical suggestions that students could really get their arms around that they can really do.
I am overwhelmed with motivation and inspiration. There was great takeaways in every session I attended, and I've heard from many, and I can attest to this, one of the best speakers we've had. We're very excited. I think Clay had a really great story of coming from little and taking responsibility for what you have and growing those ideas and making stuff happen. And that's relatable to anyone. And I think that's what it came down to, is everyone could take something away, relate, and go out and practice what they learned today. I really enjoyed the educator session. It was one of those where it seemed very obvious what he was talking about, but something that I definitely need to practice more in the way that I frame things for students, and getting at, what is it, what are their motivations and why are they here, and how can I tailor a message to them based on why I know that. And that was really hit home, and I think that it'll go really far. But as far as the other takeaways for the students is really, it's up to them. They have to take responsibility for doing something now, and there's no excuses for not moving forward.
He's amazing. He's very enthusiastic. He has lots of energy, and he's real with people. He's not fake. He speaks his word. All I want to do is I want to impact people's lives for the better. On the health side of things, financial side of things. This is right down my avenue, because I've always wanted to leave an impact and let people know, hey, that was the guy that that changed my life.
I think that Clay brings a lot of energy into the room. I think that, initially everyone's a little bit shocked, wow, this guy's really just putting it out there, but it was energy and interest, and he kept me engaged. I didn't necessarily think about my phone or the task list that's, on my desk back at work or anything like that. I was there and present, and he kept it light and enjoyable. You could see his soul, and he was sharing with you what he really felt about how he's been successful. And I think he broke it down in really actionable and straightforward information that I could take and do something with. So action on your life. I would say the core principle of what the message that I took from Clay was that you should really know what it is that you want in your life, and then take action to make it your life and not everyone else's.
Well, my degree is music entrepreneurship, and I wasn't even supposed to be here. So how the stars aligned that I ended up working this event and had the opportunity to stay was just a big takeaway. Meeting Clay was amazing. My dad runs a small DJ business that he's owned for many years now, and so to hear that he started off doing wedding DJing too was also another big takeaway for me, and to see how successful he became just by something so small that I've just known little about. Well, he was very charismatic. He had me on the edge of my seat, even though it was really hard behind the tech booth.
He was great. He was very motivational, but he also outlined some very specific action items backed up with data to help students understand why they're here, identify what their passion is, and just identify in terms of what they want to do with their lives, find their passion. Clay was very energetic. He was very real. He was very just raw almost, that just made him so authentic and relatable to students.
I would definitely have to say his energy, and I totally cracked up at all his jokes, because they were, I don't know, they were some of them were really corny, but it definitely made it relatable. And just some of the stuff that he even joked about was questions that are had been on my mind, and something you didn't really want to ask someone, but then he joked about it and made it just relatable. And he didn't try to sugarcoat everything, and I love that he told us right up front. He's I might say something that's not politically correct or whatever. He was just real with us. It made it relatable.
He was very dynamic, brought us a lot of information that you hear through classes and stuff in business school, but helped relate it to the real world, and especially applying it to maybe starting your own business from the ground up. Clay was certainly funnier than most other people that usually talk about that kind of stuff, which helped to relate to him a little bit more, and it just kind of told things like it is, didn't really dance around the topic at all, just kind of said what he needs to say, and it was easier, at least for me, to adapt to that. I think especially him talking about scheduling your day out, something I don't do very well, to be totally honest, and so implementing that would be a great strategy for me, and something I'll certainly apply to my everyday life and professional career.